Look, this is not a preachy video, I promise. And I'm going to come out and say it straight away. I've had a really shit day today. Well, I suppose, depending on how you look at it, because to be honest, I feel like I've been personally struggling a lot. And for some time, I've kept on pushing it off. Or maybe I felt terrible one day and then the next I feel okay again. So I sort of put it to the side. And I've used various different coping mechanisms to deal with these sort of struggles. And I will elaborate on what I mean because I know it may seem quite vague at the minute, but basically, for quite a while, I felt this very deep void. The sense that what the stuff I'm doing is very meaningless, and a constant feeling of I'm not doing enough or I'm not living up to what I can be. And I have this sort of vision in my head that I know what I can do, yet figuring out the steps. And I've spent so much time in my head trying to work out what it is I want to do, who I am as a person. And I've been going through it and analysing everything I can. And to be honest, I haven't really got anywhere. And this is going to be very hard for me to put out because, yeah, I am being vulnerable right now. I'm not the kind of person that's going to pretend like I'm okay, even though when I go out in day-to-day life, I'm not going to be going out saying, oh, I really need help, and, go to the first person saying, look, I need help. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I know where I want to end up with this video. And to basically round off what I'm trying to say is, despite what you're going through right now, all the different struggles, you might think of so many different ways to get around it. Maybe if I do this, and for instance, I'll give you an example. So whenever I felt really down and a bit guilty, so say if I haven't started the day on a good note, I've overslept, I've gone on my phone for too long, and then I feel like the day's kind of gone past me, which is what I've done today, by the way. I've really let the day go past me, and my excuse is that I've just felt so low in myself that I really haven't had any sort of interest to do anything, you know, to barely step outside the house today. And I know it's just a blip, but what is for certain, and this is what I really need to share, one thing for certain is every time I come to a low point in my life, there's always something inevitable that happens. And I always resort to leaning on God. Now, what you may be going through might not be something as simple as, oh, it might be something to do with mental health. What you might be going through could be a spiritual warfare. And if you're somebody that's like, oh, I don't really get involved with that, then this video is not for you. But if you're somebody that is very determined to improve yourself and to figure out how I can be my best self in every single day that comes by, then the missing link might be your connection with God, because this is what always happens to me. Every low point that comes around, I'm basically left feeling lost. I feel like I'm at a loss. I feel like I've tried absolutely everything. Even when I go to the gym, yeah, I feel a bit of a buzz, and it kicks a bit of momentum into me, but then it just happens again, and it's like this evolving door. Even when I try loads of different things, and I try focusing on a business, or I try focusing on work just to sort of distract myself, or if I focus on spending time with family or my girlfriend, or spending time with myself, even in my lowest, darkest times, God remains consistent. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're somebody like me that is very ambitious, does overanalyze and overthink, yet he has done different things in his life to sort of progress in the way he wants to. And I've progressed in what I think I wanted, and then I have had to retract because I realized what I think I wanted wasn't actually what I wanted. And that's when my path sort of took a diversion, and I've been on this quest for a more meaningful life. This is where I'm at right now, and I've got no shame in saying that I am a sinner, I am lost, and you're not the only one. You watching this video, you are not alone in this. And I want you to know that. I know this is quite a deep and possibly dark video. Sometimes this is what goes through my head a lot, so you can probably imagine it's probably not the best place to be. But I need to get this off my chest. I need to tell you that God is with you. God is always with you, no matter what, no matter the circumstances and what you might be going through. You may think, how do I get through this? How do I get to the other side? You might have had a goal you've set for ages, and no matter what you've tried, no matter what different things you've tried to do through your own willpower and your own resources, you just haven't been able to do it. Well, what you actually need is God. You need to lean on God, because nobody can do this on their own. And this is why it really takes a lot of humbling. And you know what? Yeah, I have been raised a Catholic, but for a very, very large period of my life, I was not religious in the slightest. I did not give a shit, really. I did every time I walked into church, let's say before the age of 16, I would just feel ultimately bored, and I would not have any sort of connection to God whatsoever. However, I would say post the age of 18, when I started actually getting into the real world and put myself out there, I know God's real. And that's not me preaching. It's me actually saying, I know that because I've experienced God. And you may ask, well, what do you mean you've experienced God? Well, I like to think of God as everything. God's not a mystical guy in the sky. He is everything that connects the world around us. He's a form of energy, he's a concept. And you can look at it from a energy perspective, but I like to remain grounded and look at it in, if you restore your faith into God and you go to him when you're tired and you're weak, he will give you what you want tenfold. And I know that. I know that to be true because I know God is always stuck with me through all the dark times, all the times that I haven't been able to express to any other human. He's known, he's seen everything that you've been through. He's the one carrying you through. So if I can ask one thing for you to do after this video, it would be to pray to the Almighty God and say, God, I know I've sinned. I'm weak. I'm tired. I want you to show me the way, the truth, and the light to help me find my way in life. And I promise you, he will not disappoint. This is not supposed to be a preachy video. This is only supposed to be a video because I've had a really bad day myself, and that's the honest truth. And I know I'm not the only one that suffers, but believe me, your suffering will have a meaning. And you may not know it now. You may not know the reason why you have to suffer so deeply, but God, he is the one that can turn your pain into power. Not you, not through your own willpower, not by you getting up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, meditating, doing all these things on your own accord, thinking you are the only one that can save you. The bottom line is you've probably already tried that. And where's that got you? It's got you here, watching this video. So, when all seems at lost, God is the answer. That's everything I have to say. I hope you do say a prayer, because honestly, your ego will come into it, and I've had to be very careful of that myself, because your ego really is something delivered from Satan, and it's kind of hard to distinguish your ego from your real self that's connected to God. But your ego may come in and say, we haven't got time for that, or we need to be getting on with some more important stuff. Just acknowledge it. It's okay. We all have it. But that is everything I would like to share. So, God bless you. Take care of yourself. Take it easy.